But people don't know about it. And how do we get that word out? There are passport books that take you to all the great restaurants. There are brewery tours that take you to all the great breweries. There are very few winery tours because there's just not enough of us yet to create the tours. And I think as we get more of us here, we can create Vino Passes. We can create winery tours. You can create wine festivals where you're not just having, Republic as a distributor have 25 wines on the table. No, you're actually having wineries that are local here at those festivals because now we have a scene. And I think that's what it takes is you need to get this right number of people to create a proper scene and a proper momentum. And it's an education thing. The restaurant tours as well. A lot of them come in and say, and I'm sure they do with Carboy as well, we'd love to have some stuff on our menu from Carboy. And that's the end of the conversation. Why are the local restaurants not putting a few products? We can self-distribute our wines and get some pretty good pricing for the restaurants and wine shops around here and be really nice to support, that local industry.
And you harped on it as well. And so that's one question I wanted to ask you. We're drinking a white and a red here tonight. We're tasting everything. And so, to get restaurants, kind of on the train, so to speak, I would love to kind of ask you, we're drinking a Cab Franc, like you mentioned, from Carboy. And then we have do we call them growlers for wine as well? Or do we just call it your kid's water bottle? Like whatever?
We call it a growler. I just say we brought in some Viognier from the winery.
Viognier. Thank you. What would you want to pair that with if we were drinking the Viognier from...
Scallops.
Scallops, yeah.
Seafood? Scallops. It's a seafood white? Is that what you're saying?
Seafood wine or anything with a little spice to it. Any of those, anything you cut through some heat, some of that Thai food, Asian foods. Those work well also. And actually, both of these wines are great sipping wines, too. This Cab Franc is tasting fantastic.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm slaying the shit out of both of these. So I feel bad for anyone that may be on the road with me here shortly. And let's ask you. We're having the Cab Franc from Carboy. What would you pair this with if, let's say, that we weren't doing a podcast, but we were enjoying these cocktails over, a grill or a dinner? What's the meal that you'd pair this with?
I think it has the acid to cut into rack of lamb. I mean, I often grill a rack of lamb for myself and have a bottle of this because that's how I relax sometimes. And it's got very fruit forward and pleasant acid profile to balance that fattiness of the rack of lamb.
Yeah. Question: can you find, besides going to the winery, which you should do, and grab a bottle,
and meet them?
Yes. Can you find your wines here in stores in Colorado? Or
we are working on it. To answer that question, this is just released. So you're tasting we just released this a couple weeks ago. So this is a newly released product, and we're excited to try to get it out to a broader audience.
So visit Carboy.
Visit Carboy, yeah.
And ours will be similar. We've only been open for 3 weeks in the dairy block, so we'll primarily look for on-premise distribution, so restaurants, those type of things. More to just spread the brand awareness, kind of more of a cross-promotion thing that we want to tell people where to go eat, and we want restaurants to tell people where to go drink. And I think it's a good way to do some cross-promotion.
Hell yeah. And speaking of cross-promotion, that was a perfect segue by me. We have these two segments. I'm sure y'all are regular listeners to our podcast because we're fucking fantastic. But we like to kind of pick y'all's brain. We're going to ask y'all a couple quick questions, and then we're going to dive into some rapid fire. Hopefully everyone's got a good buzz because we still have at least 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. So first off, thoughts on Frosé. I want everyone's opinion. If you're a fan or not, I'm a huge fan in the spring and summertime.
We experimented with a, pun intended, pilot program with a Frosé machine. And it worked splendidly. We had some Gewürz from Finger Lakes District, Gewürztraminer, and we blended it with a peach puree, and it fucking worked. It was so good, and I can't applaud one of our guys, Patrick Matty. He was the brainchild behind that, because I don't know anything about Frosé production, but he nailed it.
So during the warmer months,
yes,
you enjoy a little bit.
Well,
of
he actually commandeered the machine. He runs the Breckenridge location, so they have more foot traffic. The Frosé does appeal to the Highlands Ranch set, but Breckenridge just has far more volume, and so they commandeer the frosé machine. We should just get another one.
Yeah. For summertime, get that shit down there.
I'm not going to lie. It's one of the biggest things. And so I'll ask you, Melissa, in this, I mean, obviously it's, 60 degrees in Colorado in December and January, but what's your thoughts on frosé? Will we see it in the book in 2019 or 2020?
I believe there are some locations in the book that are doing frosé, so definitely you can enjoy that. I like anything that gets people excited about wine. If frosé is their kind of gateway wine, then I think that's awesome because it gives people a place to start. Personally, I have super sensitive teeth, so I don't like the frozen beverages. So I'm more like up to Infinite Monkey's Bellini, which is you're still getting the fruit. They do Palisade peaches. Blended with their wine, and it comes in a convenient can for hiking and going to the pool and doing your sneaky drinking. So I prefer that, but I don't mind frosé, and I love that it's kind of gives us a seasonal identity here in the sunny summertime that people are still enjoying drinking wine.
Fun fact: did you know that Frontier sells Infinite Monkey? But I was pounding that shit on the way home the other day. I mean, I probably had 4 of those cans, and we had a 4-hour delay. So by about the second drink, they were like, "You know what? You can just have these." And I was like, "Thank you so much. I do appreciate that."
You mentioned IMT. Ben Parsons, I just met with him earlier today, actually, before I came here.
Nice.
Talking about how to get a grasp or firm on educating Denver about Colorado wines and how good they can be. So he's a tremendous proponent of pioneering the scene. He's been here since, I think he launched his winery in 2008. But hats off to Ben for opening the door.
Great. Definitely a pioneer
urban
in the
wineries,
urban winery scene, and also throws the best party at Aspen Food and Wine. So.
That was going to be I love
the IMT party.
I want to get your input on the frosé, James, as well. Is it a thing out in California, or do people say, fuck you, rookie?
Exactly. And that's where my brother and I have gone back and forth on this one, and we don't always see eye to eye, which is fine. That's what two brothers do. That's why we have wineries in several parts of the country. So he's a little bit more of the purist. Which you could not do a frosé in Healdsburg. You would be run out of town. It's just not right. But our winery is across the street from Coors Field, and there's just no way you can't have some sort of alternative beverage on a home Rockies game. What we're experimenting right now is working with Tico Teas. We carry their products in the winery, and they're a local Denver tea company. And we've got a pineapple Viognier and a pomegranate Pinot Noir that are little sangria blends that we're going to put on some ice during the home games. And so not quite a frosé, but a little bit more of that creative beverage.
It's in the ballpark. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, he said Rockies, and I said ballpark. It worked. Yeah. Those sound delicious.
They are delicious, and we can't wait for opening day.
That reminds me a lot. Shout out to our friend Alon Shia. There's a restaurant in New Orleans called Superior Seafood. Shout out to all of our friends in New Orleans. But they do something very similar. They have like a pomegranate mojito that they have that's frozen. And then they have like a frozen champagne. Like they just concoct some other stuff. It doesn't have to be specifically frosé, but I feel like that is like the universal name that kind of gets, like everyone's like, oh, you mean like an icy with alcohol.
I think it's any way just take the edge and pretentiousness out of wine. And at the end of the day, it's just fermented grape juice that we're just trying to enjoy.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I was hesitant with the whole frosé thing until I tasted it. I was like, that's actually remarkable.
Right? Isn't it great?
I mean, and that's the beauty of VinoPass. Getting in and tasting something that you might have a psychological block toward experiencing and your move toward a direction of enlightenment, if you will. So
nice. I like that. That's well done. It sheds light on something like if you're scared of something, like VinoPass is like, well, this gives me not only an excuse to go in there because I'm not wine savvy, so like, it's like, and you mentioned, like if you just go in there and you ask for questions, it gives me a reason to now go into Black Art Cellar or Blanchard Family Wines, because otherwise I may have just snuck across the street and grabbed a glass of the house red or, for $4 or whatever. It gives you a reason to go out and try something new. Get out of your comfort zone. And even if it's frozen or non-frozen, that's what the VinoPass does. So well done. Way to tie that back in. I like that. Well done. This is one of our favorite segments. Y'all are kind of in for some really shitty questions here, but we enjoy asking them every single week.
Rapid fire.
Are you ready to do some rapid? Oh, wait.
Should we? But just because you've been out in Colorado for a little bit of time now, what's your favorite concert venue? Well, I mean, obviously, Red Rocks.
There's only one choice.
Right. So
But we've
what
had
was
people that haven't gone.
Well, honestly, I like Gothic. It's intimate. I like Gothic.
All right, so
So does Chad Kelly.
what's your last favorite concert you saw in Gothic?
Rye.
RYE?
RHYE. Rye. Danish. I think they're from Danish.
Is it a screamo band?
No. In fact, he's a male vocalist and kind of electronica band backing him. But I thought he sounds very much like Sade, honestly. So very, Great performance.
Yeah.
Great performance.
And don't let Chris sit here and ostracize you.
Not at all.
I'm Team Fillmore. Shout out to our friends at the Fillmore Denver. That's my scene, and that's my location. But everybody else seems to be a Red Rocks fan. So,
Red Rocks is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but
I like it.
I love the Gothic. Don't get me wrong. I've seen multiple concerts there, and I like going to like the Blue Moe's, doing a little bit of bowling, having a little bit of barbecue, and then segue.
I'm heading to Dazzle this weekend. I've never been to Dazzle. I've lived here 2 years.
That'll be
I'm going to see Otis Taylor.
Nice.
I thought you were going to say Otis Day in the Nights. I was like, I love those guys. He knows us.
Yeah.
All right, well then, Melissa, what's your favorite concert you've seen in the last year? Are we doing year?
It's a year.
So this is actually my first time going to Red Rocks. In September, I got to see 9 Inch Nails at Red Rocks. And that was life-changing.
Nice.
And I had tickets, I think in like 2006, but I was like in the military overseas, and I just had to give them to my sisters, like, go enjoy it on my behalf. I'm not going to make it back. And so it was really cool for me to finally be able to see that band in that venue. And then, of course, they played The Perfect Drug for the first time ever in live at Red Rocks.
Wow.
So that was
Solid.
pretty awesome to be part of that too. So I have to say, like I always say, like Red Rocks, but this was the first time I got to go. But I also love the Gothic and the Fillmore, which I also saw 9 Inch Nails there.
Right? Performance
Yeah, it is. But that sounds awesome for you.
Like, I've seen Tool in the Smoothie King Center, but if I was able to see Tool at Red Rocks, that's when you flip the script. So that's one question we always like to ask is, like, what tickles your fancy for music wise? We like to always ask, and then what if it's not Red Rocks? No offense, then what it may be. So, James,
Mine is Red Rocks. It's got to be before we got deep into this winery thing last year. There used to be a lot of concerts, but they've kind of scaled back with the work schedule. But I'd say my last good show at Red Rocks was Chris Stapleton. We were about the second row center for that one, and
was that a GA or was that a reserve seat?
It was not GA. Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say that sounds like you'd have to fight for that seat in a GA scenario.
I'm lucky enough to know some people that work at ticketing that take care of us well.
Shout out to our friends at Live. Shout out to our friends at Live Nation. If you need tickets for anything from the Fillmore to the, where is it?
This one's AEG is the ones that help us out.
Okay, well, we'll cut that part out. They also do Summit, Marquee, Pepsi Center, all that jazz. But yeah, Chris Stapleton's a heater. I've got a playlist that's got like him and Sturgill, a lot of like outlaw country on there. Yep. It's my whiskey drinking playlist.
Death Row by far is one of the whiskey theme for me. Death Row.
Okay, nice.
Check it out.
Yeah, I will. That's a good. I like it.
Tennessee whiskey with Chris Stapleton.
I couldn't agree more.
That's actually going to be the walk up song for my fiance at her wedding. It's going to be Tennessee whiskey.
Oh, very congratulations on that, as well as being inducted into the Rapid Fire Hall of Fame. Because here goes Chris.
So, question though, how do we do this on all? We've never.
So you ask one, I'll ask Melissa, and then you ask Ty. So you'll do James and Ty. So everyone gets to answer all the questions. I feel like we really struggle with this.
It's
40 times now.
Right,
the configuration.
We can't ask the same question to each everybody.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, we can.
Not everyone has the same opinions on life.
All right, I get you. You got this.
Yeah, you got this. Round table it, Chris. You got it.
James, I'm drunk. Coffee or espresso?
Coffee, black.
Oh, coffee with cream.
That's not how you do this. You ask him all the questions, and then we ask her all the
They
questions.
kind of know.
Okay.
It's okay. It's
All right. So here we go.
So I'm
Here we
going
go.
to see that.
Here we go. All right, so we got the first one now.
Good one.
We're still on James. Weed or booze?
Booze.
Thin or thin crust pizza?
Thin crust.
Mountains or city?
City's at the base of the mountain. It's what makes Denver great.
Red or white wine?
Time and place dependent.
Red or green?